Hello everyone, I'm David Law, Superintendent of Minnetonka Public Schools.
And I'm Chris Vitale, Minnetonka School Board Clerk.
We're glad you're able to join us for our School Board Recognitions program. It's important to take the time to acknowledge and celebrate the outstanding accomplishments of our students, staff, and community members.
We begin most of our regular board meetings with recognitions to highlight the positive impact that so many different people make in our district.
This month is our last School Board Recognitions program for the 2024-25 school year. We are celebrating student achievements in athletics, activities, academics, and the arts, as well as some of the staff achievements and district-wide honors. Tonight we are recognizing Adapted Bowling State Qualifiers, Scholastic Art and Writing Award honorees, Robotics State Qualifiers, Le Grand Concours French Exam Medal winners, American Choral Directors Association State Honor Choir Qualifiers, the National Association of Music Merchants Best Communities for Music Education Award, a Borlaug Ruan intern, a Scripps National Spelling Bee Qualifier, and a Learn Network Award for Minnetonka Community Education.
We will begin by recognizing our Adapted Bowling team. Many members qualified for the state competition this year, where they had a lot of fun and competed well.
One student, Brady Male, finished in 4th place overall as an individual in the PI division. Great work, Brady.
The team is led by coaches Mary Schaefer and Jesse Nelson.
Before we recognize each player by name, let's learn more about their season.
Hey, this is Coach Jesse Nelson from the Minnetonka Lakers bowling team. I just want to say I'm so proud of our team this season. And we had 10 Minnetonka students that made the state tournament this year. So special shout out to Eli Rolfe, Carson Penn, Donnie Burns, Joey Pullen, Gray Zeidema, Ben Bauman, Rachel Rather, Violet Lees, Lucas Schrupp, and a very special shout out to senior Brady Millay, who took 4th in the state tournament this year in bowling. This is his 3rd placement in the last 3 years. So proud of all of our students and all the players and participants on the team. You guys had a great season. Proud of you. Can't wait till next year. Great job.
I am Benjamin Bauman. I'm a singer of Minnetonka High School. My favorite thing about bowling is when my friends, family cheers for me.
Hi, my name is Carson Penn, and I am an 8th grader at MMW. I play for the Lakers, and I qualified for the Adapted Bowling State Tournament. I bowled in both the doubles and team events. During the doubles event, I start with a few cutter balls, but ended up bowling a personal record high of 107. I was really proud of myself because Lakers never give up. Thank you to my coaches and teammates. I love bowling on the Lakers team for Lakers.
Congratulations to the following Adapted Bowling State Qualifiers: Benjamin Bauman, Donovan Burns, Violet Lees, Brady Male, Carson Penn,
Joseph Pullen, Rachel Rather, Elijah Rolfe, Lucas Schrupp, and Gray Zeidema. Great work, all.
Since 1923, the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards program has provided opportunities for teens to be recognized on a state and national level, earn scholarships, and have their artwork and writing exhibited and published.
The competition is open to students in grades 7 through 12. All submissions are judged on originality, technical skill, and the emergence of a persona, vision, or voice.
We are pleased that so many Minnetonka students submit original creative work to the program every year.
This year, 24 Minnetonka students have earned top honors for art, including 21 honorable mention awards, 9 silver keys, and 7 gold keys.
12 students earned awards for writing, including 8 honorable mention awards, 6 silver keys, and 5 gold keys.
Let's learn more about these honors.
My name is Rika Gomez. I am 9th grade this year, and I received a Scholastic Writing Award for my novel excerpt, Again She Rises. Again She Rises is a story that's about healing and about cultural identity and where you come from, where you might go, and who you are. And for me, writing is really about sharing our stories and giving us ideas to them. And so as I was writing the story, covering different ideas and who people are and where they develop, I hope that I can continue to use writing as a tool to share these stories with the world. Thank you.
Congratulations to the following Scholastic Art honorees: Salma Ali, Paige Barhoover, Naomi Berg, Tiernan Bodnar Klein, Kavya Cheka, Chloe Choate, Bryce Clark, Cole Click, Clara Curry, Sula Dunkirk, Matthew Fry, Elizabeth Hayes,
Leighton Johnson, Vivian Jorzak, Bailey Matson, Charlotte Midwinter, Isa Mohit, Vivian Wen, Naomi Newpatten, Lila Rachus, Brody Sorensen, Kiara Squires, Sadie Walters, and Lauren Wentzian.
Congratulations to the following Scholastic Writing honorees: Tyler Dodge, Reka Gomez, Abigail Hudson, Gabriella Hudson, Samara Khan, Mason Kuiper, Isa Mohit, Alexandra Nelson, Kristenza Nielsen, Eleanor North, Sophia Parmalee, and Yasmin Pillay.
And congratulations as well to the following high school teachers who have supported our students in their creative endeavors: Sarah Young, Meg Kanitzer, Daniel Murphy, Rebecca Marks, Paul Olson, Steve Nugent, Krista Hitchcock, and Shannon Pushner.
Our robotics team, Chicken Bot Pie, had quite a special year. They did well in many competitions and qualified for the Minnesota State Tournament.
Robotics provides students with an opportunity to work collaboratively and solve challenges using science, technology, engineering, and mathematical skills.
The team is advised by Celeste Hill. Let's learn more about the season.
My name is Emilio Moreno, and I am currently a sophomore. What has impacted me the most about being on the robotics team is the way the team has worked collaboratively and devoted countless hours toward making the best robot possible. Through this experience, we have not only gained technical knowledge, but also invaluable teamwork and skills. One award we gained at a regional competition was the Innovation Controls Award. It highlights a creative approach to designing control systems, which made me particularly proud. Furthermore, qualifying for the state competition provided an amazing opportunity to meet some of Minnesota's top robotics teams.
Hi, my name is Aisha Adam. I'm a junior at Minnetonka High School, and recently my robotics team qualified for the Robotics State Championships. At this event, I had to personally compete for the first time, and it was really a struggle doing it for the first time and being in such a fast-paced environment. However, by the end of the competition, I learned a lot about what it means to work as a team and was awarded Rookie of the Year for my enthusiasm and performance.
Robotics team members include Aisha, Adam, Laura Colin Ortiz, Kyle Drew, Caleb Flores, Evan Ginter, Lucas Granucci, Elliot Hill, Ellen Ingham, Rowan Iyer, Keegan Johansson, Elliot Jones.
Oliver Jones, Curtis Lindahl, Kelly McFarland, Drew Malk, John Malvin, Huxton Marcus, Mingchi Mather, Samuel McHugh, John Paul Mary, Camden Mona, Emilio Moreno.
Oscar Post, Cade Raby, Manuel Romero Maspoli, Rainey Ryan, Blake Sarcia, Paxton Smolkowski, Connor Smith, Eve Sander Tan, Emilio Torano, Kenrick Trin, and Torsten Zebarth.
This year, 15 Minnetonka High School students have earned high marks in the National French contest called Le Grand Concours. They earned bronze, silver, and gold medals for French levels.
The contest is an exam administered each year to French language students to measure their language knowledge.
Let's learn more about the opportunity.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous. My name is Beth Alto. I am one of the French teachers at Minnetonka High School. Today we are congratulating students who participated in the National French Contest, Le Grand Concours. It's an annual contest that is sponsored by the American Association of Teachers of French. Students in French grades 1 through 12 in all 50 states and abroad spend 1 hour to 75 minutes in the higher levels answering multiple choice questions based on audio recordings and readings. Our students compete for state and national rankings against other students with similar language backgrounds and levels. The students recognized today are our bronze, silver, and gold medal recipients. Félicitations.
Congratulations to the following students for their French language achievements: Grace Gablehouse, Madeline Vasic, Olivia Babe, Avery Boss, Ellen Ingham, Joshua Wider, Sarah Duffy, Cole Frick.
Bhavya Gautam, Casey Schloss, Layan Sorar, Victoria Wyatt, Olivia Duhart, Skylar Percy, David Lozano.
Congratulations as well to French language instructors Beth Ann Alto, Jonathan Broll, and Susan Campbell for supporting students in this achievement.
Next, we'll recognize the elementary and middle school students who were selected to represent Minnetonka as part of the statewide American Choral Directors Association Honors Choir.
Let's learn more about this experience.
Hi, I'm Gina Mankey, and I teach grades 6 through 8 choir at MMW, and I'm here to talk a little bit about ACDA, the American Choral Directors Association. ACDA is one of the largest professional organizations for choral directors in the world. And every year, ACDA of Minnesota provides 7 different honor choir opportunities for students in grades 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th and 10th. And choral directors have the opportunity to encourage students to audition for these honor choirs. In grades 4 through 8 alone, Minnetonka Public Schools had 28 students selected for these prestigious honor choirs. That is incredible. So on behalf of those directors and students, I say a hearty congratulations. They went through a very rigorous audition process and went through many rehearsals and performance. So that's fantastic. Thank you for this recognition.
Hi, my name is Lucy Higgins, and I'm a 6th grader at MMW. I moved from Maryland to Minnesota about a year ago with my family, and I am very passionate about singing. When the opportunity came up to be in the ACGA Minnesota State Honor Choir, I was super excited. And when I got selected, I was overjoyed, me and my family. This entire school year, my choir teacher, Ms. Carlson, has been a huge help. She encouraged me to try out for the Minnesota State Honor Choir, so I'm super thankful for her. Thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Hi, my name is Bryn and I'm a 6th grader in MMW. I participated in the ACGA choir. It was a great experience. I absolutely loved it. It was a full-day commitment, but the concert ended up being great. I was nervous to try out, but my parents encouraged me a lot, and I think you'll love it too.
From the grades 4, 5, and 6 choir, we recognize Alice Forsyth, Creighton Long, Wesley Long, Eiley McIver, Emily Valancourt, Noelle Graves, Isla Pylon, Sylvia Anderson, Arya Deutsch, Sebastian Gurju Drexler,
Tanya Konderkar, Adeline Bruckner, Elizabeth Buffington, Bryn Gavin, Gavin Grund, Lucy Higgins, Emiliana Klobuchar, Isabel Kunish, Tatum Maddie, and Paige Stull.
We also recognize the following Minnetonka teachers who served as grade 4, 5, and 6 State Honor Choir directors. Sarah Abelson, Seth Boyd, Carol Carlson, Joel Goetz, Jennifer Hazen, Melanie McIver, and Gina Menke.
From the grade 7, 8 choir, we recognize Ryan Dosick, Kira Arazo, Petra Friedrichsen, Zaria Mokamba, Noah Pook, Jameson Sigfrieds, Julia Smith, and Aurora Stabley.
We also recognize the following Minnetonka teachers who served as grade 7, 8 State Honors Choir directors. Seth Boyd, Carol Carlson, Jennifer Hazen, and Gina Menke. Next, we'll celebrate an award given out by the National Association of Music Merchants, or NAM. Each year, NAM recognizes the best communities for music education. This spring, Minnetonka Public Schools received the designation for the 12th year in a row.
We make music education a priority at Minnetonka schools. Students in our district are able to explore the gift of music and performance through band, orchestra, choral, and classroom music. They achieve great success with the support of their families, teachers, and the community.
Gina Menke, a district music department chair, shared more about this honor with us.
Hi, I'm Gina Minke, and I teach grades 6 through 8th choir at MMW and also the MMW Honor Choir. And I'm also the vocal department chair for the district. And on behalf of the Minnetonka Public Schools Music Department, I am honored to accept the NAM Foundation Best Communities for Music Education Award for the 12th consecutive year. It is always such a joy to reflect upon the vast opportunities that the music department offers our students every year and Minnetonka's commitment to music education. So thank you to the NAM Foundation for acknowledging these efforts, and thank you to the Minnetonka administration, thank you to parents, community members, and our students for their commitment to music education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina. We would now like to recognize our K-12 music teachers who each play a role in making Minnetonka a top community for music education. Sarah Abelson, Mike Anderson, Mona Anderson, Liz Anderson, Becky Ash, Jackie Boyd, Seth Boyd, Heidi Bundy, Carol Carlson, Dan Erickson, Sarah Finn Sommerfeld,
Jace Ginkle, Sarah Gorski, Joel Goetz, Karen Goetz, Jen Hazen, Mary Beth Hutlin, Michael Janning, Jenny Kimball, Kevin Kleindl, Aaron Kors.
Wade Luderbein, Melanie McIver, Gina Menke, Miles Mortensen, Nicholas Raimondi, Paul Rosen, Melanie Schwartz, Tricia Stoles, Lissa Thomas, Rachel Tisdale, and Jason Zhang.
Thank you to each of you for your work to inspire and support our students.
Minnetonka High School senior Maya Sandy has been selected as a Borlaug Ron International Intern for the World Food Prize Foundation.
Maya is one of only 16 students from around the world to be chosen for the opportunity this year. As part of this initiative, students engage in projects with experts at top agricultural institutions in 6 different countries.
This summer, Maya will be researching and learning at Earth University in Costa Rica.
Congratulations again, Maya.
Wade Selby, a 5th grader from Scenic Heights Elementary, has qualified to represent the state of Minnesota at the Scripps National Spelling Bee this spring.
Wade's path to nationals started when he won the school-level spelling bee at Scenic Heights. From there, he competed at semi-regionals and regionals, which he won in March. This led him to the national event in National Harbor, Maryland, which has been taking place this week.
Wade is only one of 9 students from Minnesota at the event. Congratulations again, Wade. Outstanding work. Our final recognition for this evening is one for our community education team.
This spring, Minnetonka Community Education was named as a top 10 community ed program in North America by the Learning Resource Network, or LEARN.
The award recognizes the depth and quality of our community education programming. From events and enrichment classes to early childhood and family education, preschool, and before and after school care through our Explorers program, Minnetonka Community Ed has truly amazing opportunities for every person in our district to connect, learn, and have fun.
Let's hear a bit more about the award from our community education team.
We are honored and excited to be recognized as one of the top 10 community education programs in North America by the Learning Resources Network for the 3rd year in a row.
Minnetonka Community Education serves the educational, social, and recreational needs of our entire community, from early childhood and preschool programs to Project SOAR, Explorers, youth and adult enrichment, recreation, community events, and so much more. We believe in lifelong learning for all, birth through adulthood, and partnerships that support and strengthen the community, schools, and our families.
The national recognition from LEARN is based on 3 criteria: excellence, innovation, and sharing expertise. This award not only celebrates our work, it fuels our passion to keep learning, improving, and creating great programming for the community. Thank you to LEARN, the Minnetonka School Board, our MCE staff, and our entire community for your support of Minnetonka Community Education. We are honored to receive this award.
Congratulations to the entire community education team for this honor and for earning it for the 3rd year in a row. We are proud of the team's national caliber programming and look forward to another great year in 2025-26. That concludes our last recognition program for the 2024-25 school year. Thank you so much for celebrating with us each month all year long. We look forward to another year of recognitions to begin in September.
The school board meeting will begin shortly.
I'll now call the May 29th, 2025 meeting of the Minnetonka School Board to order. Let's say the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Mike, may I have a second?
Second.
Dan? Any discussion, questions, additions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is adopted. First item on that agenda is a school report for Minnewashta. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, as you're aware, each month, principals from across the district come to the board meeting to share an update on what's happening in their school, typically related to our school board goals of excellence in student well-being and belonging, academic excellence, and leadership and organizational support. Batting cleanup this year, the last hitter in the lineup is principal from Minnewashta Elementary, Cindy Andrus. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all for letting me be here. I've been batter, what did you call me? Last in the lineup for 21 years. This is my 21st time, and we look forward to this meeting every year and try to plan at the beginning of the year what we're going to share with you, not in detail, but the concept. So I am super excited to be here for many reasons. So thank you for welcoming me. So here's our group plan. We're going to share a little bit about excellence in student well-being, connection, and belonging, mainly through sharing stories of students with you. And then what we do with serving, which is similar to what we do every year. So, at Minnewashta this year, I'm going back to last year because what we did this year is based on what we learned from our students last year. So as we shared with you last year, our data that the students gave us helped us determine what our focus and our work would be in 3 areas. One of them, adults consciously smiling more, adults consciously using an inviting tone of voice with attention, and adults helping kids feel like they're making time for them, even in the bustle of a school day. So kids are telling us this is what we need to do. So this is for all adults at school, not just the teachers, when we set out to do that this year. With our learning, our second step, collaborative learning we've been doing this year, our focus was on banking time with students, writing notes of encouragement, doing a warm welcome at the start of each day, elevating our morning circles or morning meetings, and then ultimately all of this again stems from the students' voice and what they told us we could do to help them feel connected and like they belonged at school. Relationship growth in those areas of being warm and believe in me. So looking at that, here's what our survey told us this year, and that enjoy being with me. This year's data shows an improvement with student perceptions rising to 79% and closing that gap by 4 percentage points. So that what the students were reporting and what the staff were reporting are coming more closely in alignment. And then challenge growth, expect my best was the indicator, and we maintained a strong alignment of 98% and 94% in student voices. So we feel like we did make some gains in that particular area this year, and that's where these stories are coming from. I'm trying not to be biased, but my teaching life was spent in special education. And as we reflect back on tonight, you're going to hear a lot about those particular students at school, because when I look back, there's this thread of connection there that I wanted to show you just through a story. And so Ivan is that young man in the cinder, and Ivan came to us at Minnewashta at the beginning of last year and couldn't leave the Atlas room. He stayed in the Atlas room most of the time, and this year he stays in his 3rd grade classroom a lot of the time. And the heartwarming part of that is watching Ivan go from being isolated and not knowing how to relate to sitting at a table with his 3rd grade classmates doing third grade work and them collaborating on it and celebrating that together. And when I saw that start to happen this year, that was really great, because last year, like I said, he wasn't able to do those things. And not only was he not able to do that, he wasn't received by students that are typical students because of some of the things that were a part of his life. And that smile just lights your heart now, because that's who he is. And so up in the right-hand corner, that he has social stories books that his teacher makes for him, and one of them was us giving him a thumbs up, as part of that social story. Down in that right-hand corner, that photo talks about another student in kindergarten who also has some real struggles and some real needs, but to see her interacting and running a pizza, they were running like a cafe that day, and inviting people to come by and have pizza and sit down, and she was working on some communication and skills, and to see the other kids just being so excited and receptive, I feel like we really are making some gains for everyone, being more connected and feeling like they're belonging. The other teacher, Mr. McCashin there, that is his Halloween costume, and to see a kiddo wear the same costume because she predicted he'd have something like that on also makes me chuckle. I have a couple of videos that I wanted to use. Andy, if you could show the one on the left, I want to give a little setup. What we're looking at is
Listening to
this top
directions,
sheet.
following directions. It's kind of the listening part right now, right? Showing expected behaviors, safe walking in the hallways.
I do remember one time when we did this, then I interrupted you before we did the 3 mark
You did.
thing when I had to
So
go
he's
to
rating
number 14.
himself on being respectful to friends and adults, and the definition is there. He's reflecting on his day.
For what? Smooth
Speech.
Smooth speech. Doing his job, completing schoolwork, participating in class, completing wings work.
I didn't have them
Okay,
today.
so how about the rest of it?
3
All right, here we go.
and 4.
Oh, so 4 for reading the room and reading? Or reading the room and math?
Both.
Both? Okay. All right. What's next? What's this one for?
So he rates himself in the classroom, he rates himself at recess, and then he rates himself,
So tell me
I
about
just
doing
went
your
blank
job
on the
and
other part of the
special.
day. So we do
How'd that
this
go?
3 times, and he rates himself. We use different color of
Tell me what
markers.
pretty good
He
means.
comes in and does that with me about twice
What?
a week.
Today.
And did you
And Andy,
follow
I think
the
you
plan?
can stop that. I think we have the gist of this video, but the reason it's pretty exciting is because when we started that with him last year, again, he was mostly in isolation. This year, we know him a lot better. He's actually a wings student as well, and these things have helped him get out and connect. And I had to leave town quickly last week for a few days, so when I was doing my meeting with him, which I think actually was this day, before I left, I told him if he could have 3 days while I was gone of smooth speech, which is something he's working on to help him connect more, that I would double his points when I got back. Well, he was very happy to see me Wednesday and could hardly wait to check out. He had 40 points, which you can see on the sheet. You're only supposed to get 13. So we've added things, and one of the things that his mom wanted to be sure and teach her that you knew is that we've flexed this plan. So at the beginning of the year, we didn't have a bonus for a perfect day or for a truth point. You know, a few times at recess, he wasn't taking responsibility for his safe hands or being respectful. So we added those things in. And then when you get a truth point, he suddenly can be truthful about everything. Really fun kiddo. But the reason, again, he's feeling connected to his peers, and his peers are feeling connected to him. Do they all still make social mistakes? absolutely. But this is a vehicle that's helping him feel connected and his peers feel connected. The video on the right.
Good morning, Minnewashta. Today is Tuesday, May 27, 2025. Our weather will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain. Starting around 3 o'clock p.m., make it a smile with green choice day. Joy the short week. Signing off from the Atlas Weather Station, Minnewashta's favorite meteorologist, Claire Long.
Now, Claire started making these videos only for her homeroom. And again, she wasn't a kid that was going to her homeroom. Last year, she spent a lot alone. And she started making these videos, and her class really enjoys it. So every morning for the last 2 weeks, she has made a video for them. This was the first one she started to sing in, though. So usually she just kind of writes a script and reads the script. But this one she was, and she had to do it twice because the first time she said her last name, so we asked her to go back and take her last name off of it. Again, a kid that's feeling really connected, and her class looks forward to this little thing every day, and it really makes my heart feel really good. So those are some of the stories. In the second part of that packet, the next page, I don't have on a slide because this is top secret and not known to the staff yet. So this particular class has illustrated a book that they're having printed, and the parents are putting in the Library of Congress, and it tells a story about many different countries and their perspectives, and it weaves their teachers and their adults in their lives into the story. Again, there's a student in the Atlas room in this classroom, and the parent is the one that's really driving, helping this connection. So these just came in today, and so I was like, I'm going to put these in. This last one I've never seen in my 21 years, where a bus driver actually wrote a positive school bus misbehavior report, but he wanted us to know, or she wanted us to know, how what a difference the student is making on the bus. And before he holds the door open for the kids every day. The bus driver lets him open it, evidently, and he stands there and greets everybody as they get off and lets them all get off first. And so we got this positive bus report. So Jenny then writes a response. We call the parents and the teacher, and everyone kind of makes a big deal about this. And then we learn not only is he feeling connected here, but when he goes out other places, he's pointing out like the good stuff that people are doing in our community. And again, helping kids feel like they belong, and not only feel like it, but actually making it where they do. That's kind of been the highlight of the year for me. And in reflecting on the year.
Good morning, Minnewashta.
Andy,
Today
I didn't mean
is
to do that.
Listening to direction.
There we go. I want to keep it short and just focus on those stories with you. The rest of this you could see. We continue to serve the greater good. We continue to be a peace site, all led by our students. This week on Tuesday, we had Tropical Zone Orchestra there. The students were out dancing. We had to have peace sites by 2 grade levels at a time. And the 5th grade students were the ones that actually led that. Again, there's a little video clip, but I think you get the idea of how students are feeling connected and how we're, well, just a little bit, Andy, and then we'll stop it. So you can't tell, but the gym's full of kids around there as they're leading that. My favorite part of that is if you notice that the teacher had her shoe off as she's playing the piano, which I thought was really pretty funny. The rest of this, again, is all of the ways that the kids have been serving their projects that they do, whether we're asked to from the high school, which is the Tonka serves, or whether it's gathering food for the ICA food shelf. And I'll just kind of scroll through those. It's a great place to be. Even when it's not a great place to be, it's still a great place to be. It's not a perfect thing, but the kids have told us what it will take for them to feel connected to us, which seems to be making them feel more connected to each other. And that's mainly what I wanted to leave with you. So I appreciate that goal. I hope that's one of the goals you're still going to be asking us to do. I know that's on the docket for tonight, but I feel like serving the greater good and belonging, they're very connected, and the way that we're approaching it, I hope, is connected for you. So happy to answer any questions, but thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Board members, any questions or comments? Thank you, Principal, for that fantastic report. Love to
Thank
see
you.
the stories of connection and positivity.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Next item on our agenda, it's reached the time for community comments. Community comments is an opportunity for the public to address the school board on an item included in this agenda in accordance with the guidelines printed on the reverse of the agenda. Do we have anyone here who wishes to address the board in community comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the presentation by Chilean student teachers. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, when you have immersion programming at every elementary school, you have an opportunity to bring incredible opportunities to our students, like an exchange partnership with Chile, where students come here to do their student teaching and work with University of St. Thomas. Tonight, Executive Director of Human Resources and General Counsel Angie Flowers will give a summary of that experience and invite up those student teachers to talk about their experience. Ms. Flowers.
Thank you, Superintendent Law. Good evening, Mr. Chair and board members. I am so excited to introduce you to our 5 student teachers from the University of Chile in Concepcion, Chile. Javiera Vergara, representing Clear Springs Elementary. Anita Soto, representing Deep Haven Elementary. Amalia Cavazos, representing Minnewashta Elementary. Sofia Lagos, representing Minnetonka Middle School East. And Emilio Chavez, representing the high school. These wonderful educators are the second group to visit Minnetonka schools since we relaunched the program last year in 2024. Our student teachers work alongside a cooperating teacher in our Spanish immersion classrooms for a 20-week experience. And they live with a volunteer host family in the district during this time. The student teachers also complete their practicum at the University of St. Thomas, that is our local partner school for this program. And they provide our immersion students an authentic cultural and linguistic experience that is truly unique to Minnetonka schools. The program would not be possible without the support of our partner universities, our very generous host families, our amazing and talented cooperating teachers, and everyone just continuing to support it at the district and at the universities. Tonight, our student teachers will be sharing how this experience has impacted them and their students and what role this will play in their experience as future educators. And I also want to just thank Amy Hillstrom for all of her support in this program and all the coordination that she does. So with that, we will begin with Amalia.
Hit the mark.
Maybe because he's back there.
There we go. There we go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amalia Cabeza, and this evening, with my Chilean colleagues and I would like to present our learnings and reflections for the future in Chile in our Minnetonka student teaching experience. Throughout the presentation, we will respond to these three questions. What have we learned about teaching or learning? What have we learned about the students or the classroom environment? And how will this impact when we return to Chile? I'm a student teacher from Minnewashta in a kindergarten classroom. And what I've learned here is about differentiation in learning, where the children can go with their own rhythm, and that doesn't make them feel lost in their learning. And we work in similar levels of knowledge, and with lesson plans adjust to the different ways of learning. And another fun thing is the family participation. It could be in math centers where the family can sign to stay for an hour playing math games in center for each 15 minutes each. And the mystery readers, my favorite, where the parents can sign up to read a book or two while giving them clues to the class, and they have to guess who the reader is. And today we had TC Bear from the twins, like the actual bear, so it was super fun. The bear signed us cards and give us stickers, and I don't know, the clues were, I'm Harry, I live outside, my name have 2 letters, or if it's a parent, my favorite sport club or something are the Vikings, or I have brown hair, and then the children recognize the things about their families, and we vote like, oh, I think it's my parent, I think it's my grandma, and it's super fun. Yes.
Hello, my name is Javiera Vergara, and my experience was in a first grade classroom at Clear Springs Elementary. So I first want to start with what I brought from Chile. So one of the most important things from me was to bring a little bit of my culture from Chile to the classroom here. That was like my main goal. But I started to think, how can I do that in first grade? Like, they don't even understand some complex words like culture. It's so big and broad. So it just came to my mind exactly how I did it as a first grader, with songs and with fun and with things that made Spanish, like the learning of Spanish, make sense for them. So I brought songs by 31 Minutos, how you can see, and Mazapan, which are 2 big things from my childhood. And I started using them in the classroom in 2 different ways. One way, it was to give them brain breaks, to just stop for a second during the day and just enjoy a song or enjoy a video. But the second part was they were still learning Spanish. We were in an immersion classroom, so even when we were resting, we were still practicing. And right now, we have been with the songs for I would say 2-3 months, and they start singing out of nowhere, and it's really fun because they enjoy the language. And on the other side, what I'm taking back to Chile is just I just had this whole experience with learning about the everyday life in the classroom here. It is very different from the everyday classroom life that we have in Chile. So I learned, for example, that in elementary school, they have the same structure of the day every day. And I really like that. It's very predictable for the kids, and they are ready to learn when they come in. I really enjoy seeing the morning meetings, for example.
it's a great way for them to connect with their community, to greet each other, and to start the day like in the right mood to learn. They are ready for it after it. So.
Hello, my name is Anita Soto. My experience was in 3rd grade at Deep Haven Elementary School. I will talk about collaboration between teachers. I work specifically with 3 3rd grade Spanish immersion teachers. We use the same planning, but the differentiation depending on the students in each classroom. So, what is the advantage of having a work team? First, one big advantage is that we can share the workload. As teachers, we often have a lot to do, but working as a team helps us divide responsibilities. For example, in our case, one teacher planned math, another planned language arts, and so on. Also, all 3rd grade teachers knew every student. This helped the kids feel safe and understood, no matter which teacher they were with. It also made it easier to find solutions together. Since we knew the students well, we could come up with creative and personalities strategies, whether it was to help them learn better or to support them emotionally or socially.
Good evening, my name is Emilio Chavez, a Spanish student teacher at Minnetonka High School. Well, World Language Department was my home during this month, I met many teachers of other language. Was amazing, share and working with them. I enjoy a lot my experience at World Language Department. She is Jody Siegel, my covering teacher, and Natalie Bob, the green hat in the group photo. Well, I am so grateful with them. They are great teachers. Thanks for her support and for teaching me be teacher. Sorry. Learning through games. My class was Honor Spanish Immersion, Spanish Humanities. We teach about literature, grammar, music, grammar, and more grammar. So, to engagement my students with Jody and Natalie, we use games to motivate them at morning. 8 a.m. is a great work for us. So they play, they have fun with the activities, and almost all time, quiet students win the game and share and compare the answers with their classmates. Technology is a great friend for us as teachers. Minnetonka Schools offers different tools to include technology in our classroom. For example, in my case, Schoology Gradebook, Canva, Google and Microsoft software. Those tools make our work efficient because we can have all information, tests, worksheet, and everything in one place. It's fantastic. And technology is grateful to communication with the families and the students. It's easier for us. And to finish with my words, thank you Minnetonka High School and Minnetonka Schools for that experience. That experience opened the door for the world for me. And thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sofia Lagos, and I'll talk about my teaching experience in 7th and 8th grade in Middle School East. So I had to learn different topics about global and American social studies to teach them because my specialty is in language arts in Spanish. And of course, it was a challenge at first, but then I started to enjoy it and be confident in the classroom. So I was able to concentrate in using different strategies to teach and create a learning environment where the students learn different ways to participate individually and as a group respectfully. So when this happened, I started to feel as a real teacher. Also, during my experience here, my cooperative teacher, Joshua Gukowski, was very supportive and encouraging, and I learned from him so many things that I'm taking to Chile. But the three main ones are, first, how to be a more reflective teacher so I can be conscious about my practice as a teacher. Second, how to be more communicative with the families, because I didn't know how to do it at first. And also with his example, I started to create my own way to create a healthy relationship with the students, establishing boundaries, but at the same time being as reliable as I can be so they can reach out for help. And third, when I create a lesson plan, he teaches me to do it thinking in three students. The first one is a student with high capacity. The second is a student who needs more help. And the third student is a student who doesn't want to be in the classroom. Then to answer the last question about how will this impact this when we return to Chile, we didn't know each other at first before coming here. And now I think we are attached for life through this experience, because we get together every weekend to talk about our week and reflect about how it was. When we give tips to each other, and we've been supporting each other where there has been challenges in this experience of being a student teacher here in the States. And one thing we all have implemented, and it was Javiera's idea, is a strategy to create silence in the classroom, but the Chilean way. So we say chi-chi-chi, and then the students has to say le-le-le. So we create Chile, and then they have to make silence.
And how will this impact all of us when we return to Chile? Well, the first thing is that it will expand our job opportunities. This experience will have a big impact in our curriculum, in our whole career now going forward. So we are very excited about that. And we will also have a broader understanding of what it means to be a teacher, because before we only have met teachers from Chile, and now we have met teachers from, I would say, all around the world, not even just from the States. So that's very nurturing, and we are very excited and grateful for that. Yeah, with that, we are finishing our presentation. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you. Any questions?
Board members? Thank you all for the wonderful report. Thank you for your service to the students of the district, and safe travels home whenever you depart.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the annual update on recruitment and retention. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the Minnetonka School Board has had the goal of filling all of our open positions with the highest caliber of candidate possible. To further that, our HR department does an annual report to the board on their efforts to fill open positions and new ways that they're recruiting and in retaining staff. Executive Director of HR and General Counsel Angie Flowers will be presenting this soon.
Thank you again, Superintendent Law and board members. Excited to present our annual Human Resources Summary on Recruitment and Retention. This is one of the board goals: excellence in leadership and organizational support. Enhance the district's focus on recruitment and retention of exceptional teachers and staff to include efforts to create a representative workforce that will enrich the learning environment for all students. I'll begin with recruitment. The first thing I'd like to share is some of our recruiting resources that we use. There are a host of sites that we actively recruit with. The majority of our applicants, as we look through this, are found through our careers page that we launched last year and our human resources page. We also get a good amount of referrals. So please tell all your friends about job opportunities and to look at our website. We continue to utilize LinkedIn and Diversity in Ed. Diversity in Ed has a nice feature now that allows us to really filter down to candidates, actually principals. They can filter down by state, licensure area, and it will just give them a host of applicants if they wanted to reach out to them. And we also just use LinkedIn to, of course, feature job opportunities, which I'll show in a little bit. Sahan Journal. So we started advertising and recruiting with Sahan Journal last year, and we continue to have a presence with them. We've run ads in all 4 languages, English, Somali, Hmong, and Spanish. Right now we have English and Somali as our current ads, and that is just part of our more long-term recruitment strategy and to further our reach. And I just want to thank Daniel Campbell for his work on these ads. LinkedIn features and recognition. Partnership again with the communications department, Mary Cornelius. So we use this not only for promoting career opportunities, but we celebrate employee achievements. And we do this throughout the year. What you'll see now is our assistant principal career opportunity over Advantage Momentum, and also celebrating our national board certified teachers. I'd like to share our LinkedIn results from May of 2024 through May 2025. We feature the positions such as the assistant principal that I just shared with you. We did that for the principal position at Scenic Heights, and we got 35 applications, which is a high number for a principal position. And for the assistant principal positions, it's even more popular. We got 130 applicants for the assistant principal there, so there was a lot of great talent in that pool. Our annual results, we continue to see steady growth in our reach and our engagement, and that just really shows us that people are looking at our stories, they're sharing them, they're talking about them, and that's really, really great for our strategy. Our content garnered about 150,000 impressions over the past year, up 25%, so we love that we're seeing that. Over 71,000 members reached, that's up over 20% from last year, and our engagement rate increased another 1% over the last year to 10.8% from 9.83. The average LinkedIn rate is 3.16. And we have 5,685 followers, increase of 19.65%. We added another 929 since the last board report. This is our annual CIRCA report card. This is a snapshot of our job postings activity. We had over 15,000 jobs sent to our community organizations and over 300 jobs sent through our linkage agents, which is directed at certain community organizations. So CIRCA does a really good job of getting our jobs out there and getting us the exposure that we want. Our first quarter report card from CIRCA, we're starting off really well. It's at 2,645 jobs sent to community organizations already. So we are appreciative of those results. Of course, another way that we recruit is through our job fairs. Bethel University, one of our university partners, attended that job fair. You can see Sandy Shoba in HR and our wonderful assistant principal from the high school. Emily, and also we have Andrew Gilbertson from Groveland Elementary. So our principals have really been great about joining us at job fairs and helping to represent and recruit, and we really appreciate that. 2 virtual job fairs were attended, Handshake through University of Minnesota, and again, the job fairs are also a long-term strategy. We do get some hires out of those, but we just want to maintain a presence. So 166 interactions with educator candidates. We feel good about that. And we have our own job fair, our favorite one. So this is our school operations job fair from last year. There aren't that many job fairs out there for the operational positions, so we decided to do our own and invite people here. So alongside me in this photo is our wonderful HR director, Robin Klinker, and she really manages most of those operations positions. Also, we had community ed here in the middle, and Sucheta Mahankali, the HR specialist. She leads the job fair in organizing it. And I believe board director Foss attended the job fair last year and brought some folks with her. So we were happy to see that. At the first job fair, we had 30 attendees, and last year we had over 60, so we doubled it. We were pretty full. It was very active in here. Another unique thing that we did, because we do recruit reserves and substitutes through the job fair, is that we started a teaching licensing expert booth, and that was really popular. We saw that with the first one, there were a lot of questions about licensure, people that had been teachers, but they want to get relicensed again. So that was something else that we added. We do employee features for the job fair. So we have 2 of our wonderful staff here. Again, we put that on LinkedIn, and that's for part of our recruitment campaign, just to show what it's like to be an employee at Minnetonka from the employee's voice versus us saying it. Shameless plug, our upcoming job fair is on July 24th, 3 to 6 o'clock, and that will be at the Minnetonka Education Center off of Highway 7. So please, send people over, spread the word. We're looking again for those non-teaching positions. Moving on to reserve and substitute data. I think this is important to share because it really is something to support our teachers in the classroom and to continue learning when there's absences. So we continue to recruit reserve teachers and paraprofessional substitutes throughout the year. New hires were at 46 for reserve teachers this year, and 28 paraprofessional substitutes, and 10 proctors. Out of that pool, 81 have worked multiple times per week, 3 to 4 times per week, and 26 of them are new hires. So we continue to look at how to fill and alleviate teachers being pulled from prep, but also expanding our focus now to improve our para-substitute focus. We're looking at that a lot more closely. We just started a new report that really drills down to tell us not just how many paras are absent or what the fill rate is, but what type of para. And that is really significant, especially for the special education paras. So we're happy to have that information. Our fill rate is stronger this year, even though we had more teacher absences. February was again our highest month for absences. Our 6-week building floats, those are reserve floats that they stay on for 6 weeks and they may continue, or they may be another one, but it provides consistency. We have 2 teacher reserve floats at the elementary, and we have 3 at the secondary. That has really helped us to stabilize and get the coverage. Not only that, but have a substitute teacher in front of students, and we also have it for paras that they're familiar with and who they know. So that's really, really good. 100% coverage for teachers, we've seen many weeks. A good amount of that you can see if you look at the fill not needed. That means that we are doing that through internal coverage. Sometimes because we may not have a substitute, Other times it may be just an hour that needs to be filled, and it's just more fiscally responsible to do it that way versus getting someone for half a day. So we are liking the way that we are trending in our reserve coverage. For our paraprofessional staffing, 96.4% of our budgeted professional positions were filled this year. So that was 57 paraprofessional new hires. Another thing that we did this year is to make sure that all our special education paraprofessionals, substitutes, and regular were highly qualified. That is something that came from the state, that in order to pay with those funds, the paras needed to be highly qualified. So they need to have an associate degree, 60 semester college credits, or pass an assessment. And huge thanks to our special education department. They held live assessments and testing and trainings last fall. And we do that throughout the year now for anybody new, so that they're getting that. And fortunate for us, we were using a system for our paraeducation that had one of the assessments. So it wasn't that big of a change for us. 42 have obtained highly qualified status by taking the para assessment. 35 tested last summer, and 7 took the test during the year upon hiring. For our teacher staffing, some recruitment and hiring statistics, 97 positions posted. We are at 74.23 filled and 25% unfilled. Last year we were at only 20% unfilled, but the report came later in June. So we expect to get there by June. We think we're really on track. And the average years of experience for our teachers hired 2024 and this year is about 9 years. So some very experienced, talented people joining the district. Moving on through retention through engagement and professional development and growth. So one of the things we did this year is that the DSC and Tech Center was charged with charitable giving, specifically human resources, and we raised $13,182 and yes, 1 cent. And it was insisted that we include that 1 cent because it counts. But we wanted to recognize and engage our employees while contributing to our community and to others' community. And retention really is about creating that welcoming culture where we can have fun and give back. We had record participation with 53 employees. There were contests, picture costume contests, jean days, decorating pumpkins, fall potluck, and activities. Taylor Denal was really the creative force with the ideas, our HR assistant. But as you can see here, Suchetta and Mary getting some henna. Giant Jenga is there, and I believe Superintendent Law is drawing a pumpkin blindfolded, right? It was pretty good. So we had a lot of fun. We were able to raise money, and we were able to do that with donations and resources that we already had. Also, our reserves and substitutes, I think one of the unique things is that we really do everything we can to recognize them. They all go through an interview screening, they have a full orientation, and we offer PD in a welcome event, welcoming them back in the fall. So as you see here, this picture is Superintendent Law greeting our reserves and substitutes. And I think that is absolutely wonderful for them to see that and have, the superintendent there. They have thanked us a lot for that and have appreciated it. So we will continue that for the 3rd year, along with technology resources. They get training on that during that PD and during orientation. We just try to ensure that we have timely communication, address any concerns, specialized training and opportunities for reserves and paraprofessional substitutes. So they do have access to master teacher courses. We have it for teachers and for paraprofessionals. And And this is something we can also use if someone is struggling in a certain area, and we've done that, and we've had some good results. Another great thing was Scott Gerlicher did security training with them because they may be, in the classroom. So that went over really well. And I mentioned the highly qualified piece. This is something new this year, our custodial maintenance licensure and nutrition services certifications. Human Resources has taken a proactive approach to help them get licenses or the next certification. There are financial incentives that come with that, and it's just really rewarding. I know there are some people that were really hesitant. I know we had one of our custodial staff who just did not want to do the testing. It was like, I'm not good at testing, I can't do it. We're like, we're just looking for you to try, and providing supports, and scored 94% and was bragging to everybody. So, so that was a good one. And we do that. We have a form we created in Skyward to really track that. And we're working with the union. This is something they wanted as well. So just looking closely and monitoring, how that's going and who might need more, and just making sure they're connected with the right supervisors. And nutrition staffing, the same, just giving them that attention also. Overall retention for all staff. Recognition of staff through appreciation weeks, such as, teacher appreciation, going out to the buildings, doing cookies and different things. Annual professional development for our paraprofessionals. That will continue with workshops in August, October, and January. And that is a retention piece that I'm really proud of because we have really improved our professional learning for paras, and they do feel more respected, and they have given us a lot of great feedback for that. And we're giving them the professional learning that matters and has an impact. We continue our full professional learning days for teachers with your support. We've negotiated fair and competitive contracts so we can attract top talent. All 6 bargaining groups were settled by October 10th. We will be starting with teacher negotiations next month. Looking at market studies for, in particular, our Minnetonka community ed positions, we noticed that they were out of alignment, so we did a really deep dive into that. And of course, internal promotions, job growth, celebrating staff, and we continue to do our new hire, exit, and retention surveys. And we are looking to gather even more information from those, so we'll be launching a new survey next year. And with that, I will go over the survey results from this year. So we had 33 respondents this year versus 29 last year. It's still good to see that increase. Quality orientation, for that question, approximately 60% of the people agree or strongly agree that they got quality orientation, which is similar to last year, which was at 69%. Are there quality staff development opportunities? Approximately 65% of persons agree or strongly agree. Last year was pretty identical at 64%. World-class education and highest aspirations, those results are slightly higher than last year and in the weighted averages from prior. Is Minnetonka a good employer, and would I consider working for the district again? 50% of respondents believe that the district was a good employer and would return again, compared to 57% last year. The majority of the respondents had worked for the district for about 1 to 4 years versus 20 years of service for the people who really responded last year. So that might be some of the reason and the difference in those answers. Again, the majority of our respondents were teachers or paraprofessionals. Belonging was a question that we launched last year with respondents answering that 79% felt like they belonged. That was down a bit this year at 67%. Also important to know that 32 people answered this question this year versus 11 people last year. So that could be the cause of some of that difference. But of course, when we see things like that, we're looking into it further. The types of positions, we got teachers, paras, community education, nutrition services, and an office assistant. And we also want to know why people are leaving. Most people left due to other employment or due to other, and if they select other, there really is no specific reason as to why they did that. Of course, employment was the number one, then there was retirement, and then followed by personal reasons and relocation. Deep Haven didn't have anyone who completed the survey, so that's why their results aren't in here. But the last building at the high school, the last building where most worked at was the high school, followed by Scenic Heights, which makes sense given the size of those buildings. So most of them work at the high school or Scenic Heights. It's not an indication of turnover for those buildings. And 4 other questions here. Are you aware of the district's vision, mission, and board goals? We had a significant drop here in 2023 to 55% versus 81% in 2022. We are rebounding in that area because we are now at a 70% indicator now that that messaging seems to really be being heard, and it's rebounding. For students receiving high quality education, the overwhelming majority clearly agreed and strongly agreed at 90%. And the strongly agree is double that of the agree, with only 1 disagree. And again, the majority of staff believe that they were treated respectfully. The percentages of people who strongly agree and agree that we have benefits and wages are competitive. That spiked to 69% last year versus 54% the year prior. We have stabilized again at 58%, and it's not surprising that it spiked during a time of new contracts. Lastly, these survey questions, starting with timely and accurate communication regarding issues that affect you. The number of people who strongly agree and agree is identical to last year at 42%. We did see a drop in morale from 52% to 38%, but it's also, again, anticipated when we're in budget cuts and in budget deficit. Last year was also a spike. It was only at 28% the year prior, so we did see that spike, and sometimes we just see it level back off. Clear performance expectations is at 50%, which is a drop from last year from 76%, but an increase from 2 years ago at 45%. Do employees feel they have input on decisions that impact them? Identical to last year at 37%. Overall, the results continue to be strong in the quality of education provided to our students and the professional development that we provide to staff. We do want to keep an eye on providing clear expectations and making sure that morale is, at a strong place along with belonging. So even though we saw some drops, we do believe there's some stabilization there, and we're having still some really, really good outcomes. And that is the annual update. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Board members, comments, questions? Sally.
Thank you for your report. And I just wanted to observe that those fresh efforts that you have implemented over the last couple of years are taking root, and it's really nice to see the results that you're getting both in the recruiting and retention. So thank you for sharing those.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have the approval of 2026-27 calendar. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, you have seen this calendar several times. Tonight, Executive Director of HR and General Counsel Angie Flowers will present for approval the 26-27 school year calendar. Ms. Flowers.
Thank you again, Superintendent Law and board members. I'm happy to present the calendar recommendation for 2026-2027 school year. We stay 1 year ahead and we already have a calendar in place for 2025-26. The calendar committee consists of parents, students, administrators, and educators. So we really do have broad representation, and we try to ensure that we have parent representation at all the levels, elementary, middle school, and the high school. Calendar committee meets for some lengthy discussions twice a year. We met on February 24th and April 14th, and we discussed the entire calendar at length. We really take a deep dive. And we had discussions at 2 study sessions, really reviewing those details and why we were making the recommendations that we were making. The initial recommendation to the board was revised by the committee to have schools start before Labor Day in 2026. Labor Day falls a bit later in September of that year, so we thought there could be, if there was an adjustment, it was really popular if we qualified to do so. So beginning school before Labor Day will allow us to have a more traditional last day of school. So it's not going so far into the middle of June. That is not very popular with people. In this calendar recommendation, the last day of school for students will be June 9th, 2027, and the first day of school will be September 1st, 2026. So still starting in September, which is familiar to families and staff. Beginning before Labor Day will also allow winter break to begin on December 23rd instead of December 24th, which was very popular. And this calendar also reflects our switch to full non-student contact days for professional learning for educators. In order to begin before Labor Day, a school must have at least $400,000 in construction that year, and our ongoing, regularly scheduled summer maintenance hits that number. So we do believe that we qualify, and we will be seeking that waiver so that we can start before Labor Day. Lastly, I'd like to provide a sincere thanks to everyone on the calendar committee for their time, their input, all the robust discussion, and the recommendation we have before you meets our contractual and statutory requirements, and I am asking that you accept this calendar as recommended for 2026-27.
Thank you. So I'd entertain a motion to adopt the recommended 26-27 calendar.
So moved.
Chris, second.
Second.
Mike. All right. Board members, any discussion? We've, as Superintendent Law mentioned, we've seen this several times and discussed it publicly on several occasions. And thank you for reminding the public of the reasons that we're allowed to start earlier. And that was the only question I had for you. So seeing no further questions or discussions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, next item on our agenda is a preview of the Tour de Tonka. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Tour de Tonka is a premier event across the state of Minnesota. It's Minnesota's bike ride. On an annual basis, our Community Education Department does a brief preview for the board of what to expect for this year's tour. I believe this is an anniversary year. Tonight presenting is Executive Director of Community Education, Kim Carlson. Ms. Carlson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, school board members, Superintendent Law. I'm here tonight to go over this. We're really excited. I wanted to as you know, it is our 20th year, so we're excited about that, and we have some good things coming up, and we'll share that with you. But first of all, a huge shout out to our community education staff. It's a big lift, and we've been working on it since I walked into the door. They were already planning it, and so just their incredible work and attention to detail, as you can imagine, what it takes to put this type of event on and make it successful. So thanks to our team. And then the Minnetonka police too, we've been meeting with them. They've been offering us suggestions, input, and of course safety is our #1 concern. So they've been great to work with, and we continue to meet with them. And then of course our other partners, City of Minnetonka, food shelf for a student. It is a big ask for our community to support this event, and they've been great to work together with us on this. And then our sponsors, so we get sponsorship every year. So we've got some people that are returning and some new people on there, and without, you know, we do some great work, and they just allow us to do a little extra, and also they're either out on the routes or they're contributing financially and volunteering. And of course, you know, some good pizzas along the way from some of the others. So yes, this is our 20th, and we're going to have some fun stuff around that. We have some special 20th anniversary merch, and Anna is one of our program managers, has been working on that. We are going to have archive display booth at our vendor fair, so kind of taking a look down memory lane, if you will, and grabbing some of that, so we're working on that. We as in Zach, I think, over here, but we have a legacy rider group, and for those of you who know what that is, that's the folks that have been riding for 19 years. This will be their 20th year, and it looks like we have about 49 people that are coming back to do that ride. So we're excited about that, and we're going to honor them by having a photo together at the Arch. And then here is our new rider shirt, and it's kind of an homage to 2006, the first year. So Louise Weir has been doing fantastic work and took over the design of it. And so we're excited to do that. And something kind of different this year, we brought in new vendors and gave them the opportunity to bid on the t-shirts. We did, some of the t-shirts came from overseas, and so we brought a local group in, and we're happy to say that we picked North Star, who is a local group, and we've used them before. They've been great to work with, and Louise has had really good experience with them so far. So we're excited to see that. And now Zach Mink is here. He's my office assistant extraordinaire, and he's also all things Tour de Tonka, and without him I would be completely lost on what to do next on tour. But the team has such great experience with running this event, so it's been really successful so far in all the planning. He's going to talk registration and a little bit about our routes. So Zach, come on up.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for the introduction. So yeah, as Kim said, we've had a team since September that has just been firing on all cylinders. I mean, we are excited. She's unleashed creativity, new ideas, suggestions. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work too. But our guiding principle was we want to create an event that serves the needs and demands of the community and also shines a spotlight on this district. That's what this is all about. Registration opened in March, and it's been really exciting and validating that we are at 835 riders. We track registration every day, going back year over year. So we're up this year, 7%. Again, registration goes from March until the day of the event, so it's a long push, but that's just, it's really exciting to see that people are responding to the event, what we've been planning, the marketing, just everything. Again, a really diverse set of riders, 16 different states, and 113 Minnesota cities. So what's neat about that is it's just a privilege that we get to create a space where all these people get to come together and experience community, but not just community, this community as well. So that's why we show all these data pieces and these numbers. So that's really neat. Those 800 something riders, this is what it looks like right now among our 5 different routes. We're offering a 16, 24, 40, 58, and 100 mile this year. It changes a little bit each year depending on demand and road construction too, exactly where we can and can't go. So we track this every day. Big thing about this event is a lot of our riders are late registrants. So we expect each year about a third of our ridership register the week of the event. So any year, if you look back, that could be between 700 and 1,000 riders that wait till the week of. So we keep an eye on it. We're really patient. Again, it's a long game, but this is where we're at now. Like I said, these are our 5 routes. We wanted to be really respectful of the resources of our community partners, the district, and community education. So we never want to take for granted for the fact that these 4 counties and 25 cities, that they welcome us into their world. You know, we do all the prep work, we get everything ready, the permits, the applications, but at the end of the day, if they don't feel like this is a benefit for them and their communities, well, that's it. We can't come through their areas. So just like last year, 4 counties, 25 cities, we're going to have people riding on 143 unique road and trail miles. And from a bird's eye view, that's what that looks like, if that makes any sense at all. On our website, we've got detailed GPS maps, each route broken down that you can take a look at just for fun. But that's on August 2nd. That's what's going to be going on in our community and the communities around us. And now I'm going to introduce Alyssa Peak. She's our adult programs manager for Tour de Tonka. She's our route captain coordinator, and she's also in the middle of her community education director internship. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thanks, Zach. I told him just to keep rattling titles off for me, so he's got about 6 more after this. So I'm here to talk about volunteers. I, as the route captain coordinator, work very close with the volunteers. So we need about a little over 6,000, oh my gosh, that would be insane. 600 volunteers to make this event happen. Huge shout out to Lauren Rydell in our office. She is really the main person that deals with putting everyone in their spots. Zach and I help with that, but that's really all Lauren. And so we need about, like I said, 600 people to get this done. There's many jobs you can do, from 3-hour shifts of packet pickup and registration, all the way to working with me as the route captain coordinator and being in charge of part of the route throughout the ride, putting out the signs, making sure everyone's safe. So we do need people in all of those categories. So if you want to whip your phones out, please, and scan that QR code. And let us know where you'd like to help. Big shout out to Jackie, who has already signed up to volunteer this year. We really appreciate that. And we are also excited. Lauren and Louise in our office have been working really hard on new volunteer software called Volunteer Local to kind of streamline the process of assigning volunteers and making sure they know where they're going, what their duties are. So that has been super awesome. And then another big part of Tour de Tonka is giving back to the community, obviously. That's what Community Ed's all about, is giving back and offering great programs to the community. So since 2006, TDT has raised over $100,000 for the ICA food shelf. And that is one thing that Louise Weir, our marketing specialist, is really working on this year, is to make that impact even greater. So she's got some things in the works to make that $100,000 number shoot way up after this 20th year. And now I believe, yep, it is Kim's turn again.
Just thanking you guys for supporting the event, and also thanks again to our law enforcement and safety partners. Every year we also survey the ridership, and we get a lot of great feedback from them, and that's how we make decisions about routes and all the stuff along the way. But this was some of the quotes from our people just thanking law enforcement and our safety partners. So we're looking forward to another great year. As you can see, we're in good hands. We have great staff that are putting it on. And again, we'll see you at the Tour de Tonka on the August 2nd. Did you have any questions of where we're at or what we're up to?
Board members? Thanks for the great preview.
Yeah, thanks.
Looking forward to it. Next on our agenda, we have approval of waivers of physical education requirements, Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, since 2007, the school board has been approving physical education waivers provided students meet certain requirements. Jeff Erickson, principal at Minnetonka High School, certifies that the students listed on the attached document have met those requirements in order to be granted this waiver. It's my recommendation that the school board approve the physical education waivers for the attached list of students.
May I have a motion to approve the recommended resolution?
So moved.
Megan, may I have a second?
Second.
Sally. Discussion. Chris. Oh, thought you had a question. Nope. All right. Seeing no questions or discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have acceptance of MHS class of 2025 graduates, Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, in 1 week, we will be at the U.S. Bank celebrating all of the names of students attached. They have met the requirements required for graduation of the state of Minnesota, and you will have the chance to confer those diplomas in a week. Tonight, it's my recommendation that you approve all the names submitted by Principal at Minnetonka High School, Jeff Erickson, for graduation in 2025.
Thank you, Superintendent Law. May I have a motion to approve the names submitted by Principal Erickson?
So move.
Chris, may I have a second?
Second.
Mike, any discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations to the recommended graduates. Next item on the agenda is the approval of 2025-26 school board goals, Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, you have had the chance to work on these goals and tweak them since November, most recently at the last work session. Tonight, Executive Director of Communications, Dr. Jackie Getty, will give a brief summary of the goals for your approval. Dr. Getty.
Superintendent Law, Mr. Chair, members of the board, the goals will be here for your approval. I know you've discussed these several times, and we went through a final draft at the last study session, which was also live streamed for the public. So I'll present what you have thus far. Okay, maybe. Yeah. The process that you followed, the school board reviews the district's progress in achieving the year's current goals, and then considers input and feedback that you receive throughout the year. And that's from presentations, as well as from student, staff, families, and the broader community through surveys, assessments, activities, and other data. You then hold your planning meetings. You had one in November, again in May, and then we shared the draft, as I said, first in January 7th, and then again on May 22nd. And so now this is the final draft for your approval. There we go. The 3 board goals. Excellence in well-being, connection, and belonging, excellence in student learning and support, and excellence in leadership and organizational support. Under excellence in well-being, connection, and belonging, there were several action items. The first, to foster and maintain a welcoming, inclusive, and safe environment for all students and employees, and to do this by deepening the implementation of belonging efforts, to provide professional learning for staff on best practices to build connections, to gather student data, and identify, analyze, monitor, and respond to student trends, and to identify and address barriers to belonging that affect student demographic groups. Another key action item is to cultivate social and emotional well-being and to implement best practices in school-based mental health support. To do this by strengthening students' social and emotional well-being through continued implementation of the multi-tiered systems of support processes and structures, to advance student awareness and support the diverse developmental, cultural, and mental health needs of students, to screen students annually to ensure identification of students who may need additional support, to continue our JED Foundation partnership focused on mental health of high school students, including suicide prevention, and to confer with the Mental Health Advisory and implement their recommendations as appropriate. And finally, under this goal, one more action step, to consistently implement and communicate bullying prevention efforts, and to do this by maintaining a high level of student and parent awareness of our existing bullying prevention efforts, and then to monitor the impact of those efforts through various reports and data. Under the second goal, excellence in student learning and support, an action step to ensure all students receive outstanding instruction, and to do this in several ways, focusing on high quality universal instruction in all courses, leveraging teacher collaboration to ensure responsive instruction and progress monitoring, to provide staff development throughout the year to address the priority areas identified using student data and teacher feedback, to increase the impact of teacher collaboration by providing consistent administrative guidance and support throughout the year, to continuously monitor the effectiveness of district programming at all levels, curricular areas to ensure the district is meeting the needs of all students, and to take steps toward providing a continuous improvement process that considers the unique needs of programs that serve students receiving special education services, students learning English, and students participating in Tonka online. Another action step to prioritize student literacy improvement efforts, and to do this by continuing to implement updated literacy plans, which include the teacher training for effective practices in foundational and disciplinary reading and writing instruction, to implement the board-approved core and supplemental literacy materials aligned to research-based best practices, to ensure all students are screened for barriers to literacy early in the educational process, and to monitor student growth to determine if core instruction, including interventions or acceleration, positively impact student outcomes. And a final action step here to implement new middle school programming, to launch the new programming, and then to monitor implementation of it to ensure that the updated program meets goals and is also financially sustainable. Under the goal of excellence in leadership and organizational support, the first action step is to ensure long-term financial stability and sustainability for the district. And to do this by implementing board-approved reductions for the 2025-26 school year, and to monitor the financial forecast and recommend adjustments to improve short and long-term financial stability.
Dr. Getty, you might want to advance the slide.
Oh. Thank you. A second action step to ensure facilities meet the current and future needs of students, using the Facility Study Task Force recommendations to consider securing funding through a capital projects bond, and then if the board moves forward with that, to ensure the community is well informed about it.
I think you went backwards.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yes. To recruit and retain the highest quality staff. Am I there? Yes. To continue to focus on recruitment and retention of exceptional staff and teachers, and to include efforts to create a representative workforce to enrich learning for students and to meet the needs of our increasingly diverse student body. Let's make sure it's done. Yes. To build strong relationships with all stakeholders, also under this goal, by supporting in-person engagement opportunities for stakeholders to engage with district leaders, to survey our residents, families, students, and staff regarding their experiences and sentiments, to launch the pilot of the model for providing student voice to the school board, and then to provide a spring update on that pilot. And then district-wide committees, which include stakeholders, will present an annual update to the board. Another action step to provide the highest quality meals possible, to continue to implement no-cost meal legislation, including breakfast at every site, and within the parameter, breakfast at every site and lunch, within the parameters of the federal nutrition guidelines, and then to gather stakeholder input, including from the Nutrition Services Advisory Council, and to implement those strategies to increase the variety and quality of meals. So those are the goals as you have them drafted and as you've discussed and finalized them, and when approved, they would then be shared with parents, students, and staff via school board news, and then also posted to the district website to be implemented as of July 1st. That's what I have for you today.
Thank you, Dr. Getty. Board members, why don't we start with entertaining a motion to adopt the proposed 2025-26 board goals? Chris, may I have a second?
Second.
Megan, any discussion? We've had a long iterative process for these goals that Dr. Getty just well described, and I think we've had a lot of opportunities for our own thoughtful consideration of these goals in public. Hopefully the interested members have paid attention. I know they have, because they've given us some feedback and we've incorporated that as much as we can. So with that, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on our agenda, we have approval of non-renewals. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Minnesota law provides that during the probationary period, any annual contract with any teacher may or may not be renewed, provided, however, that the school board shall give any such teacher whose contract it declines to renew for the following school year written notice to that effect before July 1st. This law applies to all teachers and administrators who are required to have a license as a requirement for their position. The reasons for termination of probationary staff are varied. It is my recommendation that the board act upon the attached resolutions for non-renewal.
Thank you, Superintendent Law. Board members, I'll remind you that we have carrying action at the desk with the updated list and resolution. And I would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution as presented in those materials.
So moved.
Sally, may I have a second?
Second.
Dan. All right, we have a motion and a second. I don't believe we typically have discussion on these. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is passed. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is the approval of resolution calling November 4th school board election. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, something you're very familiar with, this is a school board election year. In order to start that process, the school board must approve a resolution calling for an election. Tonight, Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Mr. Paul Bourgeois, who has overseen those elections for many years, will provide a summary and make a recommendation. Mr. Bourgeois.
Thank you, Superintendent Law. Actually, I'm batting cleanup today. We had a lot of home runs, so I get to bat cleanup. And a long time ago, I batted cleanup once in a while. So this resolution for the school board election basically lays out the filing period of July 29th through August 12th, 2025. And it sets, and the deadline for that is August 14th, 2025, which we will actually have to officially read in the next resolution or in the next board item. But election day is Tuesday, November 4th. And so we're required to call an election in whole or in part no later than 84 days before the election. So this is well in advance of that. Again, we have 3 positions open on the school board. So the legal counsel, Knutson, Flynn, and Deans, we use them just to review all of our election-related items, and they put together the resolution for us. And so we recommend that you approve the resolution to call the election.
Thank you, Mr. Bourgeois. May I have a motion to adopt the recommended resolution?
So moved.
Dan, may I have a second?
Second.
Mike, any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the notice of school board election filing period. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, part of the election process is the board must formally give notice of the filing period for elections. Tonight, Mr. Bourgeois will give that update. Mr. Bourgeois.
Thank you, Superintendent Law. The 7 seats of the Minnetonka School Board are for terms of 4 years, and elections for the seats are held every 2 years, with either 3 seats or 4 seats up for election. On November 4th, 2025, 3 seats are up for election. Filing for the office of school board member of ISD number 276 begins at 8 a.m. Tuesday, July 29th, 2025, and ends at 5 p.m. Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. Affidavits of candidacy are available from the school district clerk at the district service center at 5621 County Road 101, Minnetonka, Minnesota. The filing fee is $2. A candidate for this office must be eligible to vote in the state of Minnesota, be 21 years of age or more upon assuming office, have maintained residence in the district at least 30 days before the election, have not filed for another office in the upcoming election, and have not been convicted of an offense for which they are required to register as a predatory offender under Minnesota Statutes 243.166. The notice of this filing period is for the public's information.
So thank you very much. No further action required on that. Then we will move on to the next item, which is authorization to sell some general obligation bonds. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, another agenda item was related to this, but you probably wouldn't make a connection unless I told you about it. Ms. Flowers shared that we can have an early start to school if we do more than $400,000 of construction over the given summer, and we have to apply for a waiver from the state. In order to do that construction next summer, we need to sell bonds to the community. You'll notice that tonight's total is $14.2 million, so more than that $400,000 threshold. But Executive Director of Finance and Operations is going to talk through the process of formally selling bonds to fund that maintenance next summer. Mr. Bourgeois.
Thank you, Superintendent Law. Mr. Chair, members of the board, we try to get out in advance and be the early bird, catching the worm to get the best pricing for our long-term facility maintenance. Our 10-year plan, which you've approved once, and actually you'll have to approve again in a state-mandated format once they send out the official form, which hasn't been sent out yet, but on June 26th. We are doing $14,285,000 of necessary projects for fiscal year 27, which really is then over the summer before that. So some of it actually starts a little bit before in fiscal 26 in June. But we are asking for authority to bond. And of course, we are still waiting for final Minnesota Department of Education to review our 10-year plan in their format as required. And they'll give us an approval letter. They have in the past. So, but they'll be scheduled to give us an approval letter sometime in August. And then, so this is actually a contingent, the authorizing resolution is contingent upon receiving approval from the commissioner. So I'm kind of stumbling here. The bond itself is actually, or the resolution has been approved and formalized and approved by Dorsey and Whitney, our bond counsel. So by approving this, you'll give us the ability to actually do some preliminary work so that when we do get our approval letter, we'll be able to sell right away. And then get this on the next preliminary levy in September of 2025. So that's, long story short, we'd ask you to approve this, the authorization so that we can start those activities and move ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bourgeois. May I have a motion to adopt the recommended resolution approving the authorizing resolution?
So moved.
Mike, may I have a second?
Second.
Dan, any discussion or questions from the board? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is our consent agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Dan and Chris. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is board reports. Superintendent, any board reports? Not super. Dan.
Real quickly, Finance Committee met earlier this week. We were able to talk through the budget report that we all saw last week and the no tax increase bonding measure proposal that we all saw last week, and the room was very responsive. And our enrollment is trending it up at this point. It's some of the highest enrollment we've ever seen, so we're in as good a place as we can be on the revenue side.
Thank you, Dan. Any other board reports? Now, Superintendent's report. Superintendent Law.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I'm just going to give a shout out to our very recently recognized communication department for receiving national recognition from the National School Public Relations Association, the highest level report for annual publications. 7 different publications received that honor, a total of 12 recognitions. Those will come back for board recognitions, but everything that you see tonight and that our district puts out for the public comes from a talented communications department. Congratulations.
Any announcements? All right. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Megan, may I have a second?
Second.
Mike, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's 8:41, we're adjourned.